Welcome, everybody.
Yay!
This is our live stream, and this is our first live stream. And hey, have fun. Don't be too harsh on us. I'm sure audio and all the rest of those things are not going to be ideal, but we'll do our best.
Yes.
Now, you might recall, those of you that played last time, what was happening, but I will recap just in case you do not. My window for that is here. Okay. So previously, you had made your way after the battle at the Agora. You had made your way to House Denieth, into the fortress there, along with the tied-up leaders of those that you had already cured from Durn's madness. Decaneth, the leader, helped out by bringing in a spindly warforged to create a forgery in the hand of Lady Dedrasco, who was still not cured, requesting immediate delivery of 12 bottles of Greater Restoration, which is worth a small fortune, and the warforged at that stage ran off. The conversation progressed, and the general, the leader of House Denieth, learned that Decaneth had lied about switching off the warforged making machine after the truce, and she was prepared to imprison him on the spot, but it was argued that he could help more by letting you experiment with the machine using the captured mind flayer that the general then had brought in at your request. The Warforged with the potions returned, and each leader was forced to drink, and while most of them chose to stay in the heights and oversee the battle with Durn's incursions from up there, Decaneth himself guided you to a secret slide within House Caneth's grounds that took you swiftly from the heights all the way down to the depths below even lowers, where the battles were ongoing. Here you spoke with him and his official title, the Lord Tinker, and he did express regret at the continued consumption of souls to create new Warforged, but not enough to stop. You placed this catatonic mind flayer in a special chamber above the machine, and sure enough, when you turned it on, a new Warforged was born. She called herself Lady Tinker, and though she had no memories of her previous life, she did retain the abilities such as levitation and telepathy, and she was convinced to aid you, and you set up a trap for a group of 8 mind flayers that were approaching. Your initial gambit worked, and one of those 8 was converted to a warforged, but the machine needs time to recalibrate, and so the battle begins. To point out where everyone is in this, as well as turn some music on. Kundarashta, the one of the leaders from House Tharashk, who's come down with you, as well as the Lord Tinker, they're in the sort of observing room outside of the main chamber. So, because they don't have helmets, they stayed out there. Melina, you also joined them, so you were out of range, so as not to be mind-controlled in any way. Then, Moish, you were hiding inside the chamber. Falafus, you as well, had been hidden. Lady Tinker was floating above the machine because they discovered that you couldn't pull a soul out a second time, so that was a safe place for her to be. All of those mind flayers are clustered there above the machine, but it's going to take time. Valadrin and Kaelin are moving the bodies from the storage chamber of empty Warforged bodies over, and the Sindrine was, I think, spider walking, if I'm not mistaken. She had climbed up onto the ceiling.
She was distracting them.
She was keeping them distracted, looking like a mind flayer herself.
But the other mind flayer too was.
But because she can levitate, but.
We ended up on, in fact, them falling into the trap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they fell into the trap, but again, you can only take one of them at in a round. Actually, the way that it works is it takes 3 rounds total to get another one. So you need to keep them in the area, while Kaelin and Valadrin, who will go at the end of the initiative order, they'll have to together use their action. One turn will be to move a body off the machine, which they have to do in this next round of combat. Then another turn at the end will be to move the body onto the machine. And then in that third round, they can't do anything, but whoever is pulling the switch, like Akko, will be actually making it happen. So it's going to take a
A
while,
lot of turns.
Why do you?
potentially,
Why do you?
unless you find a way to capture them or
Is it
something
a
like
button
that.
or a switch?
But I can
It's a button.
slow their escape by repeatedly casting grease. Do not fear.
Good to
We
know.
have this in the bag.
It might have worked if you added just the right amount of garlic and butter.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. I'm
I'll
checking.
be sure to eat those for dinner next time.
I'm checking the stream every now and then. Akko gets covered by Moish occasionally as his size of his video increases. What are you gonna do? Now he's back to normal size. Okay, so let's start off by rolling initiative. Okay, start encounter. Alright, Merlina.
12 and 30.
12 and 30. Merlina having 2 initiatives because of a magical item she has, which gives her some cool things. Moish.
12 plus 5, 17.
17. Okay. We said Beladrin is basically down at the bottom, along with Kaelin, if they're going to maintain doing this. Balafas.
19.
19. Akko.
12.
12. Okay, and then I need to roll for Kaelin. Oh no, Kaelin Beladrin. I just need to roll for Sindrine. And Lady Tinker will be rolled by our initiative roller. So, plus 2, that's 12 for Sindrine. 12. Okay, let's see how that rolls out. Okay, so, top of the order then is Merlina.
Can you tell me from where I am, can I cast spells? Am I close enough, even though there's a barrier between me and the mind flayers?
You're essentially a bit removed, so I'd say you're almost 90 feet away from where the action is happening in the center of the chamber, in this viewing platform.
Yeah, that's all of my spells. Most of my spells are more than that.
Sure. As long as the spell you're casting is not sound-based, then it should work, as in, although you can use your feet to avoid that. It's more, you can't cast lightning through the glass.
Oh no!
Well, you can move over to the door and do it,
Okay.
but then they have
sense me.
access. There's no sort of blockage happening. It's up to you.
You're not going to be very helpful in this battle, so as I'm waiting.
I have to press the button. The hardest job ever.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to not do anything. I'm going to skip my turn.
Do you want to hold an action for when something happens?
Sure.
What action would you hold?
Um, I could touch someone and give them dragon's breath. So who's around me? Maybe that's what I'll do actually.
I wonder
Kundarashtra-
what happens if you combine grease with dragon breath.
Okay, so I touch Kundarashta in case it comes down to it, and we have to go
Okay.
save the other guys, and I give Kundarashta dragon's breath.
You,
Okay.
you can grant this, however, I mean, there's no limitation to it, right?
It's concentration, so
Casting another one will, yeah, I get it.
okay. So then you use your bonus action to give her dragon's breath,
Yeah.
and okay, not holding any action of your own.
No,
Okay.
no action of my own. I have full faith in these guys. They got it.
Okay.
There's like
I
five.
wish we had as much faith in ourselves as you do.
Okay. So then the next up is the first one of the mind flayers. It notices that it is one of its companions has sort of, the body has just sort of dropped and fallen to the floor, the corpse of it. So it recognizes that it's under attack. It doesn't immediately make the connection between, and you were holding up an illusion on Lady Tinker as well, I remember, to keep her looking like a mind flayer even though she's levitating on her own.
So can I keep doing that?
Yeah, you can do that. But at this stage, it's going to check that. So it's going to make a, what is it? intelligence check. Let me check your spell, actually. We're going to spells. We're going to... This was a major illusion you cast, right?
It should be a perception check.
Major image specifically says something, though. It says if they want to investigate it, they need to make basically an investigation check against the spell save DC, which in your particular case is what? Thanks for saying that. I guess it's just... Oh, there, 16. 13 plus intelligence. They're super smart. 17. Okay, so it essentially sees through the illusion at this stage, and then it's going to make its first attack on Lady Tinker, and it's going to use its Mind Blast.
Have we raided the second Lady Tinker yet since the Mind Flayer fell to the ground?
No?
No?
Oh, yes, there's one down there. We don't know who it is yet, and they're still coming out of their new awakening.
Name or his name?
You'll find out what the name will be.
Jolly or miserable?
Okay, yeah, like I said, we shall find out. Okay, so the levitating Mind Flayer is going to use Mind Blast against Lady Tinker. Well, against a 60-foot cone, essentially. But in that cone is Sindrine and Lady Tinker. So that's it. They need to make an intelligence saving throw. Each of them do. So here's 15 and 17. Saving throws against spells. Okay, so that's 17 for Lady Tinker and Sindrine. I don't think Sindrine gets advantage on this. Let's check. No, she has no particular reason that she would get advantage on this.
Yes. I will revive you all.
Okay, so Lady Tinker succeeds. She kind of instinctively senses what is happening with this thing and is not affected as deeply as it. Sindrine, however, takes 22 points of psychic damage and is stunned for 1 minute.
I don't know what to do on my turn.
Well, that's her MVP gone.
Sometimes. 22 damage for Sindrine. And I need to check her spell that she has up, which is Spider Climb. Until the spell ends. So, concentration. Okay, so even though she's stunned, she still potentially can make a Constitution saving throw to maintain her concentration. That's a 9 plus 0. So she does not. So her spell drops, which means she falls from the ceiling, which means she takes a bunch of bludgeoning damage when she hits the ground.
While she's falling from the ceiling, she might fall on somewhere.
She might hit the machine and bounce off. It's like a 50-50 chance. Let's roll a d4. No.
Wait, am I misremembering, or isn't like Moish hiding under the machine or something?
Yeah, you are. But you'd have to.
Oh great, she's gonna fall on top of me.
She's gonna fall nearby. Okay, so I said you were 90 feet away, which means that the ceiling is also big and far off the ground. So she's going to take a bunch of damage here. Let me just roll. I won't even roll the dice. I'll use Google for it. Let's do 7, 6. Oh boy. 6. Come on. Do it. Okay. Not so bad. 26 points of bludgeoning damage as she just is locked in place, her muscles, and she collapses from her spell, and she falls down from the ceiling and kind of clangs off of the machine. She's still breathing and is conscious, and you can see her eyes are staring, but she's locked up right now. Moish, she basically lands like inches from where you are, and you just see her vaguely staring past your head and kind of like, well, turn. But that's...
I think I have a potion of greater restoration.
So do I.
Yeah. Okay, well anyway, that finishes that Mind Flayer's turn. the next one, also seeing his peer do this attack, is going to look downwards and make a cone attack against the 3 that he can see there. Let me see how exactly this works, because if it has to be like you choose it or not. Mind Flayer magically emits psychic energy and each creature in that area. Okay, so Moish, Sindrian automatically fails, which sucks. And I love her, but I don't know if she's gonna make it through this. We'll see. So, Moish, Philadrin, Kalen, Akko, Philophus. No, Philophus, you might have been away from the machine, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. So, the rest of you, and this new Warforged that has created all need to make intelligence saving throws. Please.
Oh, that's not too bad. Last words, probably. Oh, natural 20.
Okay, Moish, you're fine. Oh, Valadrin. I'm not.
For intelligence saving throws, I get a plus 10 as well, so it's a 30.
You're definitely fine. Akko? 12. Okay. Kaylin succeeds. Valadrin.
Wait, Akko, did you add the bonus that you
fails.
have?
Yeah. I rolled a 10.
Okay, so then that is. Let's do an actual roll for this. Last time I just did 22. It's 4d8 plus 4. So I'll use Google again. That's fun to do. 4d8. Good. Okay. Alright, 22 still. 22 points of damage. Sindrine goes unconscious. As she is just one past. Valadrin takes 22 points. And Akko, you take 22 points of psychic damage. And you and Valadrin are now stunned for 1 minute. You can make a saving throw at the end of your turn.
Are you kidding me?
Can you remind me then, does Moish go before Coco in the initiative?
Well, you don't necessarily know yet, but I can check the initiative order. Yes, Moish does.
Right, and does a potion of greater restoration remove the debuff of being stunned?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, the spell removes, like, the mind application of the mind flares, right? And so does the potion, right? No, doesn't. I don't remember.
Can you use the potion? Oh, you can't use it while you're standing out. Sorry.
I was just thinking, if I can give the potion to Akko, then she can heal Centrine. Because otherwise I heal Centrine, but Akko is still stunned.
Just checking to see if there's anything that says
Status effects.
there's a 9th level spell that can do it. Otherwise, no. They have to make their own save. Essentially, it's the psychic. They're caught in a loop inside their own head. And that echoing chamber, that madness has kind of gotten too much for them, which explains why Sindrine is a bit susceptible to it as well.
It's a Genjutsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still
Infinite
6.
Yeah.
Tsukiyomi.
That other Warforged did not. No, it has a high intelligence. I actually need to check. The new Warforged, whose name you don't know.
We already have Lady Tinker, so this one should be Lord something. Lord Mender.
I want to use the action else to contact our warforged.
That's why I asked you what action you wanted to do, because you have to declare it if you hold it. Otherwise, you skip your turn. But you can do it on your actual turn. Okay. This one and intelligence is +4, so 14. No, this one also takes some psychic damage. So the one that is currently sitting in the chair is hurt.
That's the first experience.
That's the first experience it has. As we all know, that's a great start. It'll be just fine with no lasting.
I mean, hey, we can point at the mind flare that did it and say that guy did it.
Okay, so next up in the order is Falafis.
Okay, I asked through walkie-talkie, can you help? Is there anyone who's not stunned yet, by the way?
I mean, Merlina and Moish are not stunned from where you can see.
Yeah, so guys, will you handle Sindrine?
Sure.
Okay, in that case, I use Staff of Swarming Insects and I cast Giant Insects.
Okay. So, pulling this little box out from his bag, Falafis tosses Mr. Jefferson 2 into the air and flicks out this staff, which hits the insect, and this giant scorpion now plumps into place in the chamber.
Technically, scorpions are arachnids, right?
You know, it's there in the spell list, so it is what it is. So, okay, that works. That's your action, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then for a bonus action?
I'll try to maybe. How far am I from the mind flayers?
I mean, if you were positioning yourself as someplace to hide, the chamber's pretty empty, so it probably would have been either by the side of the, like it would be along the walls. And you can tell me whether it's by the stairs or kind of 90 degrees away from there, over by the closet which has the Warforged bodies in it.
Yeah, probably be closer to the bodies.
Okay. So then, yeah, almost anywhere around the outside is going to be 90 feet from the center where the machine is. So, 90 feet.
Then I'll just try to close a little bit the gap, I guess.
Okay, get yourself a little closer. So, 30 feet.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, good. That finishes Philophis's turn. Next up is Moish. You're up next.
Right, well, I want to do two things. First, I want to use the potion of Greater Restoration on Sandrine. Greater Healing.
Healing, right? Yeah, because she's not stunned anymore. She's unconscious. And
Right.
internal
Actually, I have 3 of
hemorrhaging.
them, so I'll subtract 1. I removed 1, I have 2 left, and do I roll for her then? 4d4 plus 4 hit points.
Correct, yeah.
D4, 2, 3, 4. Alright, 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, 11 plus 4, 15.
Okay, so 15 points of healing back towards her, and she comes back to consciousness, sort of looks over at you as her eyes refocus, having briefly gone unconscious. But she's back up now and not locked as well. She puts her hand to her head and says, "That happened quickly."
I know, right? Now you know how I felt with that banshee. Anyway, new friend, I waved like to get the attention of the new Warforged with the former mind flares. So, new friend, they are the ones attacking you. They'll hurt you again unless you do something about it. I point towards the mind flares.
Okay, it doesn't respond because it's also stunned and locked in place, but it heard you. I mean, you're pretty sure.
Alright, and then I would like to hide again somewhere, somehow.
Okay, so bonus action hide, yeah. Just make a stealth roll.
Yeah. Alright, 13 plus 5, 18.
18. Okay, you're relatively sure you're out of sight. So, yeah, you feel
I
comfortable.
hide behind the stunt Warforged.
Okay, that works. It's between you and the others. Okay, good. That finishes your turn in the order. Next up is one more of the mind flayers that's floating above. It is going to... Yeah. It's going to float itself downwards to get within range of these creatures that dare to, attack it and...
That dare to exist in its presence.
Pretty much, yeah. And it is going to make an attack against... Who's the closest one to it? I think because it's...
a dream, isn't it?
It could be. No, because it saw Philofus going. It's going to go straight for you. That said, it only has...
Me and Mr. Jefferson.
That's correct. You and Mr. Jefferson. It only has 30 feet of movement, so it just drifts partway down, and thus it can't make its other attack, so it, like the others, is just going to use its Mind Blast. It has to recharge those, the Mind Flayers do, so they don't get those every round. But this is the first round, it's going to then go for that. So, make an intelligence saving throw for you and your giant scorpion.
7, and wait, my intelligence, so it's 8. Yeah, I know.
So wait, the 7 was for...
For me.
Okay.
I guess.
So, and then for Mr. Jefferson? 2?
4.
4 minus 5.
We are not too bright, okay?
Literally, this giant scorpion in particular is like, what is this giant room I'm in? There's things everywhere. Oh gosh, there's madness and swirling colors everywhere. It has no ability to distinguish between which reality it's in.
You had such a dynamic entry. And then...
Boom. Oh no. Okay, so Mr. Jefferson is down 22 hit points and is stunned. So it's at 30 hit points. Philofus, you take 22 points of psychic damage and are also stunned.
22, right?
22.
Okay. Why can't I damage myself? Okay, I'll just subtract it. Wait. Okay, continue.
Okay. Yeah, so that finishes its turn. It's moved closer to you, and yeah, we'll see. Okay, next up in initiative. Combat check, thank you. Okay, is Akko.
Me?
Yes. So you are stunned for this turn, but now you can make a saving throw. Intelligence.
There you go.
14 does not save. You are still stunned. The loop that's playing in your head, this sort of like you've lost track of the battlefield. You see vaguely like some shapes, but mostly your mind is replaying some horrific thing from your youth that you still feel guilt over. There's just this
Eating my ant. Yes, I feel horrible about it.
Yes, you could hear the ant screaming even as you chewed upon it, and well, now you're in a cycle of guilt over that. Okay, that finishes Akko's turn. Sindrine is back up and ready to start. She takes half her movement to get back up to her feet. She's going to see what spells that she has that can help. Okay, given what we are and where we are, she's going to cast Polymorph on herself.
And become...
What?
And become...
Well, she's thinking of what a very smart, large beast might be.
Oh, okay.
But smart and large don't always
Ape.
go.
What about a
Whale.
huge
An ape.
jellyfish? Come on.
An ape.
Giant owl.
I think she would lean for the giant ape. knowing that it has some strength and at least isn't going to be as dull as the mammoth might be. So
She'll get to play
this
some
is
baseball.
before I, as the DM, actually bothered to look up giant ape stats to see. Oh, -2. Well, okay. Still, strength is worth it. Okay, so she casts polymorph, and in Sindrine's place, all of a sudden, a hulking, large, kind of yellowish furred, like blonde like her hair, ape sort of appears in place, and briefly like pounds its chest.
The true self is out.
Okay, she
It's
needs
the great
to
Azara transformation.
cast this
What?
spell. Let me just read one other thing. No, okay. Okay, so yes, Sindrine is now a giant ape. Check. So a whole mess of new hit points for her. That, however, will finish her turn, as she can't do any immediate attacks on that. So next up in the order is Merlina again.
Okay, so I want to use the diadem of first speech to contact the new Warforged.
Okay. Do you have any slots left?
I do.
You used one this morning.
For what?
So this morning you were in the middle tier when you
Yeah.
woke up and then went to the staircase to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long day already.
But I don't remember what I used it for that day.
I think you would have marked it off, so let's just check.
I wouldn't have done.
My computer being slow.
I think I used all of my luck points already.
You definitely did. I think you
Yeah.
might have overused them, but that's okay.
No, I used 3, exactly.
Okay. It's canon. I mean, technically, you have them both marked off, but I can't remember who you spoke to. I know you had.
See, I just don't unmark them either.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when,
It
when
should
I'm
do it for
supposed
us,
to
but
unmark them, I don't do it.
yeah, it should do it for us, but it's a custom
who would I
thing.
have used it on then?
That's true. I can't think of who it
I
is.
used it the day before, but
You
I
did
didn't
use
use
it
it
the day
today.
before. Okay, I can allow it. Yeah, so we'll unmark those, and you'll use one now to cast to them.
Okay.
This is the new one, right?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
contacting Lady Tinker too.
You
Can't do both. You can't do.
Oh wait, yes you can.
What are you
The
talking
new
about?
one! No,
No.
I don't need
Oh.
2, I need number 2.
Lady Tinker, the second.
The second.
Got it. Okay.
What if it's not a lady?
Alright, 20 words.
25.
Congratulations on your individuation. You are now a real girl. Or boy. Please help us free the rest of your companions. Good day.
There's a response, and you hear first just. I will try to help, and that's it. Caught in the moment of
You got this,
psychic
guys. You're in
pain.
good hands.
Okay.
No good day at the end of the transmission.
Good day.
Oh, okay, I need to
What is
quickly
night?
add.
Is it night? No, it's day.
It's day?
By the way, do I
It's getting
heal
towards evening.
when I cast the spell from the staff?
No, because it's not your natural force, right? So it's not coming from your connection to
That's why
spells.
I asked. Yeah, good.
But good remembering that, because I had yet again forgotten.
Yeah, I looked at my points and I realized, hey, I can heal.
Okay. Oops, 120 and 16. Okay, good enough. So, let me put this here. So next up after Marlena is Kundurashta, who will take off the bow that she carries, and she will sight on one of the mind flayers that hasn't moved yet, trying to be distinct and cautious about that. Let's do this. Okay, so let's go to Balancing for his longbow. Just gonna roll a d20. That's also her favorite enemy. And that's 16 to hit, which for the Mind Flayer hits. So that does some cool stuff. She's a high-level ranger. It does 2. Okay, so that does 6 points of damage only, but it does knock the Mind Flayer essentially prone. So even though it's floating in midair, it kind of knocks it into a spin, which causes it to collapse to the floor. It's not hurt very much, but it's enough to ground it for the time being with what her arrows actually do. So 6 points of damage. That was her action. She doesn't really she has the lightning's breath, but she
doesn't appreciate my lightning's breath.
Well, as long as you hold concentration, she can still do it, but she doesn't necessarily make the connection yet between this lightning that's glowing at her out of her mouth and so on. So that finishes her turn. Next up is that Mind Flayer that did get hit. It uses half its movement to get back up to prone, and then it is going to move. It's going to do its blast in that direction sort of wildly as sort of a counter reaction, which has in the path between it and it'd fall on this side. So it's basically just Merlina and Kundurashta that need to make a saving throw. As you both are standing in the... Well, you can say that you stood out of the way, yeah?
Yeah,
okay, that's fair. Yeah. So it's just Kundurashta that needs to make a saving throw. And she does not. So much for that. So she takes 22 points of damage and is stunned. Okay, next up...
Your faith was misplaced, Merlina.
Where? What?
Your faith.
Oh.
She is now stunned. Okay, next up is the new Warforged, which will finish the turn and does not make the saving throw. It is locked in this chaotic. Imagine if the first thing you experienced was a moment of what is this place? Psychic! Ah!
I should have just stolen a tinfoil hat from one of you guys. Yeah.
I forgot. The tinfoil hats give us advantage.
I forgot too.
Right.
Oh.
That's okay. Next round we'll have better. But I think it'll give you...
But to be fair, I didn't need it, so why would I remember it?
True, but it'll also give you advantage on your saving throws. So that'll help as well for us to bounce out of it.
It would help some of us. I mean...
For maybe not Mr. Jefferson, who is...
Now we're all...
Yeah. Not having the best
that one
time.
mistake.
Maybe. Okay, then there are 3 Mind Flayers that sort of go up next. One after the other.
No.
You guys put yourself in a strange position. Okay, so they are watching their companions going down. They're going to sort of divvy up the group. So first up is Philopus and Mr. Jefferson. So make intelligence saving throw. You at advantage, Mr. Jefferson, not.
Okay, rolling for myself, 4, so I'll just roll to a natural 20.
Nice.
Good, and for Mr. Jefferson, 4. Yeah.
Inconsistency.
Yeah. I mean, never mind. The dice is rigged.
The dice are rigged. Okay, so let's go over to Mr. Jefferson, who's still up. He's at 8 hit points remaining.
I will use the only potion of greater healing I have on my scorpion soon. I feel it.
Perhaps. Yeah, well, you can't do it yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So that finishes that one Mind Flayer. The next Mind Flayer is going to go for the giant ape, which has the effect of also hitting the area of Moish and Valadrin and Kalen. So all 4 of you need to make saving throws, intelligence saving throws.
Moish, Valadrin, and Kalen.
That's 3 people.
16 plus 10, 26.
You said 4.
26. Moish, you are fine. Sindrine as the giant ape. Still rolled high enough, so she's fine.
He's smart.
Valadrin did not. So he takes another 22. He's still stunned anyway. And lastly, Kalen makes it.
Valadrin's just there to take on some of the damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Okay, that's the second one. And then the third one will aim directly for Lady Tinker, who is up there in that space. The last turn, also in that area with the rest of you, is the Warforged, the new Warforged, who takes another 22 points. Poor guy. Okay, so this Warforged here, that's this one. 22. Yeah. Okay, this one goes for Lady Tinker alone, who this time does not make her saving throw. She doesn't have advantage. So she then takes 22 points, begins falling to the ground. Because of the levitation, it doesn't she's not going to do damage when she hits, but she's also locked in place now.
She's stunned again.
She's stunned. Lady Tinker had not been stunned yet, now she is. And she's been brought down out of the sky, so that finishes her turn. Kalen is up. That finishes those 3 Mind Flayers' turn, and now the Lady Tinker comes, and let's see if she can break free of that, which she can. So now she's on ground level, but she is shaken off her stun.
How many Mind Flayers are there?
That's the finish of her turn. There's 6.
You guys need to start transforming more of them.
So Kalen, on his turn, is going to make a strength check just to see what he can do.
Come on, Kaylin!
It's not very graceful, but he's able to at least shove the Warforged that's there off of the chair to free it up, and he runs across the room most of the way to get the next, body.
Good job, Kalen.
But that's all he can do on that turn. Valadrin's turn comes up, and he needs to make his save, which he does not, so he's still locked in place. And we're back to the top of the initiative order with you, Marlena.
Marlena! Destroy them!
Okay.
I will heal everybody.
I am going to go ahead, use some of my sorcery points in order to go 2 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Valadrin have the Tinker hat?
He does.
Give him advantage.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot. Still didn't make it.
Okay, so describe to me the picture. Where are these Mind Flayers?
Okay, so a few of them, I would say 3 of them are floating, 4 of them are floating above the machine still. They're just in that space, not necessarily realizing it's dangerous.
Okay.
One of them is on the ground now,
Yeah.
and the other one, I don't remember where it ended up. Not used to having 3D fights anyway, and I'm also not using my drawing pad. But, so Kuntrash, the grounded one. The other one is moved away from the machine towards Philopus and Mr. Jefferson. So we've got 4 of them sort of clustered together above, 1 on the ground, and 1 over, sort of in between.
Okay. Which one do you think I should target? The one by Philopus or by the machine? Okay. I think Philosopher's got it. I'm gonna target the one by the machine.
Okay.
I'm gonna use Dimension Door to pop up next to the one by the machine, grab it real quickly, and use Dimension Door as far as I can, 500 feet away where we were coming into the building. Drop it off there.
Okay.
And then hide.
Okay. Bear in mind, 500 feet from where you are now, you know that there is a kind of lava river. You remember?
Perfect. Yeah, I do that, and then I push it into the lava river.
Okay, so you're using your quicken spell so that you can cast a regular spell as a bonus action, as a sorcerer. So that allows you to do 2 spells.
2 damage.
So 1 dimension door, the doorway kind of appears and coasts over you, and then you are revealed in place just next to one. Just make a dexterity check
Why?
to see if you can grab him and position yourself correctly.
I will. I don't have dexterity.
It's one of your main ones.
Okay, 13.
13's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a 10 DC. So yeah, you're able to surprise this one and grab it from behind, and then the next doorway kind of appears, and you appear way away from this battle. You're aware it's half a kilometer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
a quarter of a kilometer.
kilometers, 1,000 meters.
No, this
Oh,
is
feet.
This is 500 feet. Yeah.
So a quarter.
It's still a ways off. It's like it's 100 meters away.
I'll say that the twisting and turns can make that's close enough. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you appear in this space, sort of over this fiery lava river,
Yeah.
and then
Do I get an action? I don't think I do. Otherwise, I'd push it.
yeah, technically it's enough to just grab. So you're there, you've kind of done the things, but
I let go. I'm sorry. I cannot hold on to you anymore. Goodbye.
you do know that they
You
float.
are like a brother to me.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah. Let it go.
All right. No, copyright. Be careful. Copyright. Okay, that finishes your turn. So you grabbed the one that was already injured, right? Okay, good to know. Okay, so next up is the 2 mind flayers, 2 of the ones that are floating up above. The first one is going to see if it gets its recharge, which it does not. So then it is going to have to start to move down. Yeah, it's going to do that. It's going downwards towards the giant ape, but because it was pretty high up, it doesn't get there on its turn. So that finishes its turn. The next one does also not recharge. That's a tough one to roll. But yeah, it then will also do the same thing and move down towards Sandrine and the others, but is coming a ways down. So that finishes their turns. Not so bad this round. Next up is Falafis. Falafis, you were stunned, right? So you need to make your saving throw with advantage at the end of your current turn. Same thing.
At the end. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't get any actions or bonus actions. You just...
Yep.
Yeah.
Trying to... Okay, let's do it. So it's 19.
Yeah, that saves.
And do I roll also for Mr. Jefferson?
Yes, but with the giant scorpion intelligence, which is -5.
At this point, you're like, why did I get my puppy into the middle of battle?
Mr. Jefferson is very self-conscious.
It's 3.
Nope. Mr. Jefferson is very much
He's
not...
getting worse and worse every single time. He's spiraling into madness.
Seriously.
He's gonna need therapy after this.
I tried to bond with him, and all I do is I summon him, make him big, and get some damage on his face. Plus a stun.
All right. Well, there you go.
He's gonna go through Stockholm Syndrome with you eventually, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I guess.
It's too bad there isn't any telepathy between scorpions, otherwise Mr. Jefferson's spear could have imprinted all the scorpions all over the world to pure philosophy.
They would run ahead the nearsight of
Okay, so Philofus, you're free of your thing, and that finishes your turn. Moish, you're up next.
Alright, but I'd like to sneak attack the one that's coming for Sindrine and her Great Ape transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'll use my crossbow.
Okay.
It's a tiny bit more damage. Rolling to hit, it's a natural 1.
Oh. No more luck points.
Would you like to borrow mine luck points?
I mean, no, I'd like to get this out of the way immediately. Like, you know, it doesn't get worse than this. Alright, does anything happen?
No, nothing bad happens, but you basically like twang through the air. It just goes off a little before you're ready. You're still getting used to the crossbow.
Alright, well, in that case, I just hide again. I'm not taking any chances.
Okay.
And if possible, actually, I have movement, right? How can I make it far away from everyone and then hide somewhere? So that I don't get hit by the AoE again. I mean, I have plus 10 intelligence, but I'd rather not take chances.
I mean, you can get 60 feet away, but the nearest thing that you can hide behind that's not Mr. Jefferson or Philofus is 90 feet away. So if you want to head towards the closet where the Warforged are, where Philofus and Mr. Jefferson have moved out from, you can get at least behind them, and then you wouldn't be able to use your hide action because you'd use it to dash there, but you would have cover.
No, I'd rather make sure that I'm specifically hidden.
Okay.
So I'm staying where I'm hiding behind the new guy, Lord Mender. Right, rolling to hide. 16 plus 5, 21.
21. Okay, yeah, you're even more sure than you were before that you have a good hiding place. Doesn't necessarily stop the psychic vibrations, but they can't see you to come for you directly. Okay, that finishes Moisha's turn. Next up is one of the other Mind Flayers that is going to also try... No, this is the one that came for Philofus. So it's going to try and recharge, which it doesn't. So then it is going to use the rest of its movement this turn. So that was 30 and 30. Yeah, it's going to get close enough to make some attacks against Mr. Jefferson.
No.
Sorry, Giant Scorpion. So remember, 8 hit points. We'll see if it can actually manage to hit it, though. This one... 7 to hit. That's a 20 to hit.
No, it's not Jennifer.
I can't remember his...
It does hit.
No, I'm not feeling anyone.
Poor thing. Well, he will just revert into his own
Exactly.
form.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not gone. He just the tentacles on its face sort of lash out as it gets close enough to get into range, and even though the scorpion is huge, it's basically like it's vibrating its things up in the air as it's sort of like freaking out, and this thing goes right up to its face and just kind of whoops out its tentacles at it, and it pierces through Mr. Jefferson's little eye things, and it goes and then shrinks down into this little tiny scorpion. Keep an eye on that. That finishes that Mind Flayer's turn, however.
Don't forget to press the button, you guys. We need to convert another one of them into an ally.
We still need to get it onto the table first,
Oh,
says
wait,
Kaylin,
I'm stunned.
holding on to one of these things.
Oh, jeez, Kaylin, move it.
Okay, that finishes that Mind Flayer's turn. Akko, you're up next. Make your save with advantage.
Yes. Intelligence. Plus 2. A natural 1.
No, but you rolled twice, right?
Okay, I'm gonna roll again.
Where are your actual dice? Why are you rolling on the app?
I don't know.
It usually compensates when you roll it on the...
Okay, a 20.
What?
See, I told you.
See?
I usually
Oh
told you
boy.
it's usually
Yeah, that's why I don't
complicated.
always roll on the app. But okay.
I'm trying to.
Okay, so your turn is finished, but you've broken free of your psychic damage.
Yes, I'm back.
Akko. Okay.
Boys too, don't worry.
Alright, Sindrine is now roaring mad, and she is going to, as a giant ape, shout out and almost sort of half jump and do an attack against the Mind Flayer that has been attacking Mr. Jefferson. So she's kind of jumping away from the group, but she has plenty of reach on that. So she makes 2 fist attacks against it. That is a 25. Yeah, the first one will hit, and the second one is still, even though she rolled lower, and a 20. So 2 fist attacks, and they are 3d10 plus 6. I mean, both of those hit this Mind Flayer. So 3d10 plus 6. Roll. Oh, come on. Nope. I gotta do it explicitly. Roll 3d10. Alright, come on, Google. Here we go. Being very nice to me when I roll. That's 14 for the first one. 14 points of damage. And for the second one, that's better. Alright, 14 and then 18. So this is off of this one. 14. And off of that same one. 18. Okay, it's still up and going, but yeah, Sindrine has reached across the room and just smashed into it twice in quick succession, and this thing is almost instantly sort of bloodied and reeling from this attack right after facing one giant creature. It's assaulted from behind by another giant creature. It is, yeah.
If only there was some extra damage from noise to help.
Alright, that finishes Sindrine's turn as the ape. Next up, Merlina, your second turn.
I'm still 500 feet away and I don't have dimension doors, so I start heading back.
Oh no.
Yes, that is what.
This is a trend with you. Every single time we're in trouble, you say that you believe in us and then just dimension around.
I remember.
Hey, I got rid of one Mind Flayer and I had
Well,
a nice conversation with another.
But hang on. You didn't necessarily get rid of that Mind Flayer. Because they float.
Oh.
So you push it over the lava and it just floats.
Yeah.
Here, please.
I'm
Over here.
No, literally, Merlina went, I'm so sorry to do this to you, and just like let go, and it just went.
Oh no.
So no, you're face to face with one of these Mind Flayers.
Okay. Well, what can I do? I'm gonna use lightning bolt. No, wait. Yeah, I'm gonna use lightning bolt on it.
Okay.
Shall I roll it?
Yeah.
Okay. Only 3rd level. That's all I have left.
Okay.
You can do it.
We're waiting to see. You can do it.
I can do it.
We believe in you.
Yeah. Still waiting. I'm sorry.
Okay.
35.
35. So, yeah, it makes its dexterity save, so it takes half of that.
You will never be a real boy.
Oh boy. 17 points of damage. Yeah. So that finishes your turn. And bonus actions, or she sticks her tongue at it. Good. That's that for Merlina. Next up, Kundrashta needs to make her saving throw against being stunned, which she does not. So much for her turn. Next up is the Mind Flayer that's with you, Merlina.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to see if it gets its thing back, which it doesn't. So then it's at close range. It's going to
It's going to brainwash
It's
me.
going to attempt to. Well, let's see. It's close enough that its tentacles sort of reach around the back of your head, even from where it is.
It's gonna eat my brain.
And it's going to try and eat your brain. We'll see. So that is pretty freaking high. That hits.
Bye, guys.
Oh,
it was
no.
nice knowing you. So
We
much
believe in you.
so much for my dragon lifespan.
Okay. 55 points of damage.
Draw you yet.
But you don't drop to 0, right?
No, I don't.
55 points of damage. As from within its mouth, which is not like teeth and tongue and anything like that, it is just this weird thing. This thing shoots out and sort of latches onto your face and begins burrowing into the side of your head. It's excruciating pain, and Merlina, you are like essentially like grappled in
I'd
this.
say I'm unconscious. I'm at 3 points.
But you're not unconscious.
Okay.
That's not how it works. 0 points is unconscious.
By the way, we have no idea where you went, so we can't even help you.
Yeah, if I may say something, it's really nice that people die while alive on the stream, right? I mean, you couldn't imagine any better outcome.
You guys have faced challenges that were like so much higher than this group with just like no problem whatsoever.
You don't understand. We're okay if they beat us, but when they try to cause emotional damage, that's when we can't handle
It's
it.
true. But the biggest
I
problem...
mean, again, I reiterate, this is so hard because they literally, like, incapacitated our MVP, like, in the first round.
Yeah.
And now we're recovering in the back.
Well, honestly, the biggest thing was you not doing your lightning bolt, because that always on groups of enemies, that's always helped us.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We'll see where we go.
It's also because you didn't tell us we had advantage.
The cemetery, I suppose.
Perhaps.
Yeah. We'll dig up some ogres. Don't worry. It won't be us. It'll be them.
If I'll be dying, just remember to touch me. I'll be your minion.
And if I die, Moish, you still have that ring, right?
Yeah, actually, I do.
I need to correct this.
Okay.
So,
What? I took more
it
damage.
can't use that attack until it has already grappled you with its tentacles. So, it still does attack you. So, go back to your character sheet and put the 55 points back on.
Okay.
And instead, it is 15 points of damage. And you are grappled. And you need to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. I'm gonna use a sorcery point.
You can't use sorcery. You have luck points.
Luck point.
Okay, mark it off. Mark it off and keep track.
No. Okay, 9.
9?
9.
Okay, no.
That was
So-
better than my 8.
Alright, so you are grappled by this thing and you're stunned until the grapple ends. So, next turn, it will attempt to eat your brain. Okay, that finishes that Mind Flayer's.
I like that I removed myself from
Uh-huh.
everybody that
No
could
one knows
possibly
what's
help
happening.
me.
Yeah. Okay. That's that one. Okay, next up is the new Warforged, who is going to try and make a save. This time it does make its save at the end of its turn. So it's on the floor next to the thing, but it sort of shakes itself awake. Looks over at you, Moish, and says,
I'm cowering behind it.
"What has happened here?" And then that's its turn. Okay, then we have the other 3 Mind Flayers, the ones that sort of have been attacking in unison. That one doesn't get it back, that one doesn't get it back. None of them get their stunning attack back, so they are going to then drift downwards towards the group of people as they did before. That's all they can do this turn. Then Lady Tinker, who is sort of back up on her feet now that she's been grounded, she is going to do the same thing back towards them. She has a Mind Blast in her, so she's going to attack all the ones she can get into her 60-foot cone, which is 3, 4. Yeah, that's at least 5 of them that are in that range, I think.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because the 2 that were above started to move
You said
down.
there were 4 and 1.
There's 4. I have 6.
Okay.
So one's out with you.
Yeah.
One's over there.
And 4 above.
Okay, so 4 above. I'm losing track. But okay, here we go. Yeah, they all have to make intelligence saving throws. So, failure, failure, success, and failure. All right. So, 3 of them, anyway, take 22 points of psychic damage and begin falling from the sky. That's 1, 2. Who is this other one? All right, 22. 22. Okay. The other ones do not. No, actually, this one. There are 5 there, actually, because there were 7.
There's 4 in a group. There's 1 by Philopus. 1 I took with me.
That's 6 total. So there were 7, so there's 5 in a group.
And 1 was converted. Remember?
There were 8 total that entered the room, though.
Okay,
That's the
well
thing, yeah.
then you told me.
Okay, so but she gets 3 of them basically out of the 5, or no, 4 of them out of the 5. She's now incapacitated. So they have taken damage and now are stunned. So that finishes her turn. She's a kick-ass psionic mind flayer warrior. Okay, finishing her turn. Next up is Kaylin, who is running back with the next body to put it onto the machine. He manages to do so. That then finishes his turn because that takes all that he can do. It's movement and action. So he's done. Valadrin, who is still stunned, is going to finish his turn, and he makes his save with a natural 20. So Valadrin is now not stunned anymore, and we're back up to the top of the order with you, Merlina.
What can I do?
Do you have your time stop?
Yeah.
How would that work, though?
Would
you
I
have it.
be able to ungrapple myself if I use it?
I would say that it would at least give you an extra chance. So essentially, if you choose to use your time stop spell now, which you don't have to do if you want to use it for getting back to the group
I think
too,
I'm pretty close to dying here. I think I'm going to use my time stop.
then you essentially get to try once to break free of the grapple. I mean, you're stunned. First, roll an intelligence check.
17.
17 with advantage, but you make it anyway. Ah, that's what it was. Sorry, you can't use that yet. But on this turn, you have broken free of your stun, and there's this face that is like gripped around you there. At this stage, you can use your bonus action to like use the time stop if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that moment, yeah, you gain yourself an extra action to attempt to break out. So make a strength check.
Blood point.
Make sure you mark it off.
Oh, no. I can't do it.
You can't.
No. I rolled a 3. Why strength though? How about athletics or acrobatics?
Is that going to be any better?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Is
It will.
No, but you already rolled it.
You know what I have a lot of? I have a lot of persuasion.
For now, it's enough to know that you are not sort of stuck in this psychic loop while it's approaching you. You're able to sort of get your hands up and grab onto it, but you haven't broken that grapple yet.
Okay.
So that finishes that turn. And it expends the spell because by interacting with the creature, you know what I mean? The time stop.
This is going horribly.
It was good to give yourself that advantage, but it just didn't help enough. These things are strong muscles. We'll see. I don't like it either. Okay, next up is the one mind flayer that remains sort of floating in the air above the machine. It doesn't get back its thing, so it is going to continue to drop down. At this stage, it gets within range of... who's the closest one to it? It's not going for Philopus. Not for Sindrine. No, it's going to go straight down and go for Valadrin. So then it's going to make attacks against Valadrin. Or it's going to make an attack against Valadrin. Valadrin's the tentacles. 15, which Valadrin still hits. Why is his AC so low?
This is the battle.
Swear
where
it was
half of us
higher.
die, guys.
Oh my god.
What's his AC?
His AC is 14. Without his kind of like cloak, it would have been.
Moishes is higher. In fact, significantly, Moishes is 18.
How is Moishes 18?
Because of dexterity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, anyway, it's 14. So, no, he is now... Valadrin is grappled as this creature has latched on with its tentacles. And he takes... he needs to make an intelligence saving throw. That's fine. He makes that, so he's not stunned. And he takes 15 points of psychic damage and is grappled. Okay.
What happens if we all die?
Then we pick up another time. We'll figure out. I don't know.
We will become legends
Yeah.
for the new characters that we will be playing as. Be like those guys, they were the great ones.
Do you remember that time when the world was destroyed? It felt like there were some people that were going to save it, but oh well.
Cheese things, that's not my legend.
Okay, that finishes that Mind Flayer's turn, so it is now grappling Galadrin. The next one in the order is... I've completely lost track of which ones these are. Okay, this is one of the ones that's fallen down there. So at the end of its turn, it needs to make an intelligence saving throw, which it does. So there's one more Mind Flayer back up that's on the ground. Falafis, you're up next.
First question. Can I use polymorph on Mr. Jefferson?
Let me read polymorph. Let's do Falafis. Spells.
It needs to be willing, right?
Right.
Where's polymorph? Polymorph. There. Okay. Has an yeah, so it's a creature, even though it's a tiny creature. So yeah, that can work.
Okay, then I shout, Mr. Jefferson, time for round 2, and I polymorph him into T-Rex.
Okay.
The most adventurous.
Take 2.
Take 2. Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. So, no more giant scorpion.
It's gonna try to sting with its tail as a T-Rex. Scurry on all of its legs.
It immediately just puts its head close to the ground so it can get its arms down there too.
That's right.
Okay, so yes, this all of a sudden giant Tyrannosaurus Rex appears in the space where the tiny scorpion once stood, and this Mind Flayer is now pinned between a giant ape and a giant lizard. Okay, that is that turn, and since he goes on your turn, you can roll to make an attack with Mr. Jefferson too.
Perfect. Okay, so let me just open the... I know he can grapple with a bite, right?
I have it here. I've lost it now. Yeah, he can make one bite attack and one tail, but not against the same creature, and then when his bite, if it hits, it's grappled with a pretty high thing. But he can't... But
Alright,
yeah.
let's try it.
So are you going to have him bite the one that's close to him and then attack another one with the tail? You should be able to. He might have to move a little bit, but he should be able to do that.
Okay, great. Let's try with the bite. 9 plus 10, so it's 19, right?
19, yeah, that hits.
Good. And then 4d12. D12, which one is it? This one. Okay. should I just say the numbers?
Oh, sure.
So it's 3, 1, 4, 5, which is
4, 13,
that's it, right? Plus 7.
20.
Okay, so how many? That was, you rolled 4 die, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 20 points, and this was for. Okay, got it. 20 points of piercing damage, and now this mind flare is pierced through by the Tyrannosaurus's teeth, and held there and restrained in place. Tentacles sort of flailing in the air. So that's 20 points of damage. It's not down yet. These guys are pretty hardy, but it's stuck in place now. Now with the tail, you can lash out against one of the other ones that has come down into range. You could potentially try and knock the one that is grappling Valadrin, or you could go for one of the other ones.
Yeah, let's try the one which is grappling Valadrin.
Okay.
If it's in range. All right. So D20. Natural 1 plus 10, so it's 11.
Yeah. No. It's Mr. Jefferson. Mr. Jefferson is not quite paying attention to what he's doing with his tail yet. He's not
used to the form yet.
Yeah, he almost tries to like fling it up over his head, and he's like, it doesn't work. So, okay, that finishes your go. Moish, you're up next.
Alright, well, take 2, I again aim my crossbow and try to shoot for the one that Sandrina's beating up.
Okay, yeah, well, the one that Sindrine was beating up is now the one that's in the mouth of the dinosaur that's appeared.
Yep, well, I mean, I go for that one anyway.
Okay.
Doesn't look like Mr. Jefferson. Okay, well, it's 15 plus 10, 25. I think it has.
Yes, 25 hits.
Right, damage, sneak attack damage, 5d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 4, 6, 1, 2, 6, 19, plus the crossbow damage, d8 plus 5. Uh, 30 damage total.
Okay, 30 total. Yeah, even as this thing is flailing there, Moish's crossbow takes it directly through the eyes, and it kind of goes in one and out the other, and the life leaves that particular mind flare.
Alright, so, and then I turn to Lord Mender, as I'll keep calling him until stated otherwise,
Okay.
and say, you were freed, you used to be a slave to the Hive Conscious, but you were freed and those guys are attacking you now, because you're free, and I point to the other remaining mind flares. Help us fight them off. And maybe we can even free some of them too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so make your persuasion check. Well, with advantage, because, you know, it knew that it was being attacked by them mentally as well. It can sense that.
18 plus 10, 28.
28, yeah, it is. It literally looks over at you. It's still not on its feet yet from last turn, but it made it save. And it says, "Oh, I will make them pay."
Good.
Right. Can I still bonus action hide?
Yes.
Alright, I do that again. And again, I try to hide behind.
Okay.
The same cover. Alright, 6 plus 10. No, not plus 10, plus 5 only, 11.
11 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're...
Because he got up, it's much more difficult now.
Yeah, yeah. You don't feel confident. You've finished your movement, but you're like, I think my foot is still like sticking out. They can probably see me. So that finishes your turn. Okay.
So long as I'm like right beneath him, using him as a shield.
Yeah. All right. That mind flare is gone. Akko, you're up next. You made the save last time, so you can actually do something now. Didn't you? Yeah, you rolled 20.
Oh,
Alright, so she
Okay,
made the save,
so
but she doesn't know
There's
that
a
she made the
there's
save.
a Kalen got a new body onto the thing.
yes.
There is still one up in the air above. So if you slap that button,
Yeah, do it.
the machine
Slap the button.
goes. So in that period where Akko is doing this, the light comes up, and that one mind flare that was floating up above still is now dropped and gone.
Okay.
We put this one to
So-
this, check.
We have Lady Tinker, we have Lord Mender. Who's this one?
The undecided one.
Okay. I want
Sir
to quick
Fixer.
add combatant, which is.
No, it's gonna be Murs Fixer.
Merly Moishak Philopson.
No, as in
Okay.
Murs, but also Mr. Murs Fixer.
HP is 50.
I'm trying to combine all their names
16,
together.
and,
Lafamurakosin. Blah.
Too many
okay.
consonants, too few vowels, I think.
This is after
Ah.
Akko.
No, just you, Akko.
Okay, so that was almost a free action at this stage because it literally just required you to slap it. So what do you actually want to do on your turn?
I would like, what's around here?
So you're right next to the machine, and there are stunned mind flayers sort of around you in various places. They're sort of scattered around you and on both sides of the
Which
machine.
one's closest to me?
What?
Which one's closest to me?
I mean, there are two that are very like right next to you.
Okay, so I attack the one that's uglier.
They almost look exactly the same, and you know that's nothing. I don't mean that in a racist kind of way. They're purpley and slimy. No, I'll rephrase. Well, you know, as much as two squids look alike, this one, yeah.
I'm offended on behalf of squids.
Well, all right. In any case, you're gonna attack one of them. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
with spiritual weapon,
Okay, so bonus action brings spiritual weapon up.
3rd level.
What does your spiritual weapon look like?
Okay. An angry mouse.
What's the predator that eats octopus?
Sharks.
What is that thing we're making?
Orcas.
What is the who now?
The thing we're making. The
Yeah,
machine.
who eats octopi? Well,
The machine, what are we making?
Warforged.
Yes, an angry warforged.
Okay.
Soldinako.
So this greenish outline of a warforged comes up and it's sort of like pointing a finger and looking, you know, with its Iron Man kind of mouth jaw, sort of rah, 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 rah. No sound comes out, but then it just sort of smashes into the mind flayer, who is still sort of reeling and grasping its head. D20 plus 8 to hit.
yeah, I was right.
plus
it's
9,
Like sharks,
excuse me.
dolphins. Yeah.
Interesting.
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Cool.
Well, orcas specifically.
Wait, I'm rolling it.
All right, Sophie, where are your dice?
I don't know what D20.
Use my d20.
20.
20 to hit. Yes, that hits. So 1d8 plus 2.
Seven.
7 points of damage against this mind flayer that's sitting there on the ground. Or that is, yeah, I mean prone on the ground. Definitely there. Okay, that hurts it. It doesn't, it's not enough to shock it out of its thing, but it is hurt. You still have your action. Are you gonna wail on it with your staff?
Yes.
Okay, so make
So I do a cool, like, ninja action like this.
bring your staff out, and then savagely attack. D20 plus 7.
Mm-hmm. Well, 20!
Natural 20?
Again,
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Was a natural 20, so it's 27?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. So that is 1d6 plus 2. So roll the 1d6. Tell me what it is. Just a
4 plus
stick
2.
at the end. So 4. So that's 8. So it's actually 10 points. And then your savage attacker is in your traits. Savage attacker. You can roll the d6 again.
5.
5. Okay, so now it's doubled. So 10, 11, 12 points of damage.
Yeah.
So Akko does her move and just cracks this thing on the skull, and it resounds through the chamber as well. It does not sound pleasant. It's on the ground as well. It's not down, but you've heard it. You feel good about it. Okay.
I don't think I feel good about that.
That finishes your turn. The Warforged that's currently in the seat, the new one, sort of sits up and just looks curiously around and just sort of gets up and calmly starts to walk over towards the stairs, not paying any attention to anything that's around it at the moment.
Who?
No, don't
The
walk away.
new Warforged. It has no idea what's going on, and it's just sort of like, okay, well, this is life now.
Mr. Jefferson 2.0.
Yeah, it sees the T-Rex and it's like, huh, okay, and just keeps.
And a giant monkey.
Sure, yeah. This is how life is.
Somebody tell him. Or her. Is it a girl or a boy?
They're not necessarily gendered until they start acting in
Okay,
mannerisms.
so it's a porcupine.
No, this one in particular does look sort of like strong and buff. This body, Kaylin managed to
Okay, girls.
pull a
can be
large
buff
one over
too.
there.
Sir,
Again,
sir.
they're robotish. Some of them have more feminine forms than others, but they're pretty agender. It's only the personality that imbues them that sort of comes out a little more. This one you're not sure, it hasn't spoken yet. That finishes its turn. It's moved a little bit away from the action. Alright, Sindrine is up next. With her ape form still going strong, what she's going to do, even in her sort of rage, is she's going to rush and grab 2 Warforged bodies from the closet and bring them over. So she gets there, grabs them, and runs halfway back. So she's still where she was. She's not back to the table yet, but she's got 2 with her now.
It's odd that we didn't prep, guys, and didn't just put a stack of bodies next to that table. But okay, next time we'll be smarter.
Yeah, we distinctly did not. I was
Yeah.
last session trying to feed us in that direction, but no one
We
went for it.
didn't go there.
Nope. All right, that finishes Sindrine's turn because she's really trying to get some more bodies there. Merlina, you're back up again.
Yes. I realized that I have blink.
Well, let's hope you can blink.
I've never done so before. Let's hope
But
I
before
can.
that, you can make another strength check.
Grapple check?
Yeah, see if you can break free. No? What'd you roll? Not with advantage. Why would you give yourself advantage?
The lucky point I still have.
Okay,
I think
that's
so.
3. That's
I
it.
have 4 total. I
Mm.
do, I have
Okay.
4. Alright, so strength. I have -1, that makes it 15.
15's enough. So, in this turn, so you still your enhanced speed and everything, and you've gotten the grip last time, but you couldn't quite get it off. And this one, you sort of break it down, and its tentacles like slither off of you. That's your action, but you have.
That's spell slot. I should just use something else. I should just use lightning bolt. Huh?
Tell
It's up to
the
you.
other dude not to leave.
Okay, I'm gonna use lightning bolt. I'm
Doesn't
sorry,
have
but
that.
I used my action to break 35. No, wait, it's still rolling. It's the last one that was 35.
But it's fine.
It's
It's
slow.
still rolling. 31.
31. Okay, so it needs to make. Okay, it fails, so it takes 31 points of damage, and that is enough to fry it where it stands. It is
How many
toasted.
are there?
So Merlina's lightning bolt casts into it, and it just sort of withers, and this time it does fall down into the lava pit.
No!
Do not mess with dragons!
Don't we need the body?
Too late now. No,
No.
it's not the bodies that we need, actually. It's the spirit.
Then how are we gonna get the spirit?
Well, we've got a few already. That's better than
I'm
none.
just gonna prioritize my survival over an extra.
Oh, no one knows what's happening with Merlina anyway. Everyone else, yeah. So, it's what it is.
Somebody tell her everything to come back.
Okay, that finishes Merlina's turn. Kundrashta's up next. She's going to try and make her save again, which she doesn't. She is now caught in some loop. She's stuck in there. Nothing's happening.
Someone to make them come back.
Just out of Lord Decaneth, or the Lord Tinker, he's not being any help at all. You don't know where he is or have seen him, so just throwing that out there. Okay, next up is a Mind Flayer that needs to try and make it save, but it doesn't, so it is still stunned. Then we have the Warforged, the second one, that now decides that it's time for it to stand up and take action. It is going to, of course, use its own powers to make an attack against the 1, 2, 3. Yeah. No, 4 Mind Flayers that are sort of within a cone. I think you can only get 3 of those inside the cone. So, 2 of them are stunned anyway, and they don't make a save anyway, so they'll take 22 points. The third one, the one that just failed its save. Okay, we'll do it that way. So, 22 points there. What just happened? Check. Okay. 22 points there, and 22 points there. So, it casts out its first usage of the attack, and it does some damage to these other Mind Flayers, including the one that Akko was attacking. But that's all that it can do for now. Yeah, that finishes its turn. It's looking rough. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4 that are alive.
I'm growing old with all these alive Mind Flayers.
Okay. Right, next up in the order are the 2 other Mind Flayers that are still sort of here. One of them stays stunned. The other one shakes it off at the end of its turn. So that one is back up on the field again. Then we come back to Lady Tinker. Lady Tinker is going to roll to see if she recharges, which she doesn't. So she is going to... She's going to rush over to one of the Mind Flayers that is...
Nobody cares about the dude who just walked away.
That's true. Yeah, if you said that as well as part of your action, she would be in the process...
I can't hear.
She said, yeah, you have to speak up because the mic they're hearing you from is over here. She said, is no one going to handle, like, the guy that's walking away? So...
I was planning to.
Lady Tinker was starting to rush over to, like, grab onto one of these stunned Mind Flayers, but instead she pauses to yell for the new Mind Flayer, or the new Warforged, and she sort of says, "You need to join us. This is important. They are not your friends, but we can be." And she'll make a persuasion check, which is 19. It turns around and looks back at her, sees a familiarity in the form of what's talking to her, and sort of nods its head and stops moving. That's enough. In the meantime, then, she's going to try and grapple one of the Mind Flayers. So
it is, they're as close to being soulmates as anybody ever gets.
We'll find out what his name is, or who he is, or whatever.
There's a love story coming out there.
Perhaps. So she has moved over into the range of one of these Mind Flayers, and she sort of reaches out to grapple it, and just holds it in place, and then begins to levitate upwards to bring it back up towards the top of the machine. That's the most that she can do. She doesn't do any damage to it yet, but she's got that one in tow. Okay, next up in the order is Kaylin. Kaylin is going to... We went through our whole playlist. Let's play again. Kaylin is going to... Well, I mean, he needs to rush back towards the machine. He can, or to get another Warforged body if he can. That's about the most he can offer, so he is going to do so. Sindrine is already coming back this way, but he's going to get a third one potentially. He uses his dash.
Technically, Kaylin took out already 2 of them by moving bodies.
Yeah, he's quite helpful. And buff.
Doing his best. So he's running over there. He doesn't even get all the way to that in this turn. You know, he can get almost there, but that's all he can do right now. Valadrin is still grappled, if I remember.
Yes.
So, he needs to try and break free of that. First, for the stun itself, which he does at the end of his turn, and then a strength check, which he doesn't. So he is still grappled, but he's back to himself and conscious in the moment. And that finishes his turn. Merlina, we're back up to you in the order.
I start walking towards my friends.
Okay.
Did you skip me?
Okay, so...
Just like that.
Yeah,
Just
well,
like that.
you, in this 6-second period of time, begin walking back towards where you know the door was, where the creature burst outwards.
You know what, though? I can also cast Blink, so that if I disappear after my turn, I can walk faster.
Okay.
Are we at the start again?
So I'm casting Blink, so this way in the other world I can just sort of hop 50 feet ahead, or however many you
I'm
let
not
me.
sure that's how Blink works. I think you still use your movement.
No, I'm pretty sure it works exactly like Shenshin in Naruto.
Alright, hang on. That's a spell, Blink?
Yeah,
Okay, where is it? There's Blink.
so I get to reappear
D20.
in place of my choosing. 60 feet.
Within 10 feet of the space that you vanished. So,
Within 60 feet.
no, it says within 10 feet.
Mine says 60 feet.
What level?
Third level.
Third level? No, that's the one I'm looking at. Where do you see 60 feet?
Anything there more than 60 feet away. Oh, I can't.
No, you can't see anything there. So when you come back from blinking, you can choose a spot that's within 10 feet of the space you vanished
Well,
from.
you know what? I'm gonna cast it anyway because I make a run for it and I'm gonna be there.
It gets you at least 40 feet
Exactly,
instead.
yeah.
Okay, so on this turn, because you're casting a spell, you only get 30 feet, and now it's the end of your turn. You've cast Blink, so roll a d20.
9.
9, you don't blink out.
I'm not good with that spell.
It's a 50-50 chance. Okay, so that finishes Merlina's first accelerated turn. Next up in the initiative order, and that guy's dead. Okay, the Mind Flayer that has Valadrin still grappled. So it is going to make an attack against Valadrin. This is the big one. Again, those tentacles around the head, and Valadrin is now shaken off his stun enough to actually be looking into this creature's eyes. As it doesn't roll high enough, Valadrin is able to get his hands up and sort of avoid the piercing that is trying to take place, and it does not manage to hit him. That finishes that creature's turn. It is going to roll, I guess, to see if it recharges, which it doesn't, so no. That finishes that one's turn. Philofus, you're up next.
Can I cast Fireball in a way that it would not hurt anyone from us?
At this stage, not really. Everyone is kind of scattered across the room in various places, so you'd hit the Warforged or the Mind Flayers at the same time.
Can I cast it in a way that it will not harm anyone from our party? Externals are fine.
It's more on the chair, and Kaylin and Sandrine are there. I think even with that, you maybe could do it on maybe one Mind Flayer. That's the most that you'd get out of it. Fireball is a very powerful spell, and you are in our big
Yeah.
enclosed space, so you would have that in mind.
Alright, let me just quickly look through spells. Alright, can I just use a regular sword like everyone else? Is there anyone close enough? I can't remember actually.
I mean, you can get up into range of the one that has Valadrin grappled, if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
In that case, I use the staff on him, obviously. So it's... Yeah. So I try to hit, and it's 7 plus 4, so it's 11. That doesn't hit.
No, 11 doesn't. I mean, it does hit, but you haven't really used this as a bludgeoning weapon before, so you're not quite sure what strength to apply, and it just sort of smacks him on the shoulders. It does a little bit of distraction, but it does not harm him.
Yeah. Alright, let's go to the T-Rex then.
Okay. Alright, so Philhophus ineffectually wails with the staff. The T-Rex, however, now is...
That said, if the one in his mouth, is it still alive?
It's
yes,
not.
it is.
No, that's the one
No.
Mosh took out.
Okay, good. Then he can bite another one.
Okay, yeah,
But
so...
doesn't know that it's dead. It's still like...
It gets the sense that it stopped moving, so it sort of shakes its head and drops the creature. Okay.
So he just swallowed him.
Sure, it can do that too.
Fatality.
All right, next. So you wanted to attack one of the... You wanted to attack the one that's biting Valadrin?
Holding Valadrin.
Valadrin,
I mean,
okay. Sure, go for it. Roll an attack for the T-Rex.
11 plus 10, so it's 21.
Yeah, 21 hits. So I would rule that this would break the grapple. So when a T-Rex crunches into you from behind and sort of lifts its head off the ground, even if you're there, like, it's too strong. So Valadrin is freed at that
Makes
stage.
sense.
And roll for the damage.
Yeah, so it's 9 plus 11 to 11 again.
Oh. Okay, and then it's plus 7, right?
And it's plus 7, exactly.
Okay, so that's 40 points of damage. The Mind Flayer is flailing and struggling in the air. It's not down yet completely, but it is having a rough time of it.
Good. And is there any other that we can attack with a tail?
I don't think there's any left on that side of the machine that this one would have been on. So
Okay.
the other 3 are on the opposite side of the machine, although one is in the air right now. Okay.
That's it.
Then Moish, you're up next.
Alright, well, I this time shoot the one that is fighting with Valadrin as well, so we all at least target fire. Let's see.
Wait,
Rolling.
say that again?
I shoot the one that Valadrin is fighting with.
Oh, but that one is in the T-Rex's mouth now.
But can't I shoot it?
You sure? Yeah, you can.
Just look. Just be careful.
Okay, well, I rolled a 12 plus 10, 22.
22 hits.
Alright. I'm gonna kill steal all of Mr. Jefferson's.
Even better. This is Mr. Jefferson's first time as a T-Rex, so it's just like, that's how it works. I bite them, and then they just kind of go, flunk.
And die.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
You're just stealing
Alright,
his glory.
I didn't think I'll kill steal this one. The sneak attack damage was horrible. It's 2 plus 1 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5, 16. And then the D8 plus 5.
I mean, you don't even have to roll that. That's more than enough to destroy this
really?
thing. Yeah, it was already pretty bad, and with that, another crossbow bolt through the eyes.
What is up with the eyes?
That's Moish. That's where he aims for.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying that's where he aims for, but yeah. Okay.
Where else am I supposed to aim for?
Yeah.
It's all eyes and tentacles.
Okay, so to be clear on the playing field now, that's 2 more. That's another Mind Flayer down. Valadrin is sort of standing there, being sort of washed by the purple ichor blood that is dripping from the T-Rex that's standing above him. Cindrine is heading back towards the machine as well. She'll get there on her part of the turn. Kaelin's run over there. The remaining mind flayers, so there's one in the air held by Lady Tinker. There's one that has... what's this one? Yeah, there's one that's on the ground that is prone, and there's one that Akko had been attacking that is sort of about to shake off it, or that is shaken off its stupor. So there's two on the ground and one that's sort of being lifted into the air. Mind flayers left. Yes.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Anything else you want to do on this turn, Mosh?
Yeah, I'd like to try and hide again.
Okay. Make a
As per usual.
stealth check.
Stealth. Yeah, this one is even worse. It's 2 + 5, 7.
I mean,
Just lie around.
yeah, I think at this stage you just kind of like sit back down
You're
a
like,
little
I'm
bit.
dead.
Yep. Don't
I-
mind
I-
me.
If possible, I'd like to keep like moving behind the cover of Lord Mender.
Sure. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Okay, next.
Fix a lot or something.
The new one is Sir Fixer. I'm naming them. These are probably not their names, but we need a way to differentiate them.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
You gotta do
So
it.
they feel proper.
Okay, that finishes Moish's turn. That mind flayer's down. Akko, you're up next. You still have your spiritual weapon up.
Yes. So, what is around me?
Okay, so you, one of the mind flayers that was nearby you, well, you have the one that you were attacking is right in front of you still. We'll put it that way. There's another one that Lady Tinker is starting to float up above you as she's levitating, and there's another one as well that is next to you. So you've got
the one
two
I
next
was
to you.
attacking seem injured.
Yes, definitely.
Very.
Not super, but it's hurt.
I attack with my spiritual weapon.
Okay, so d20 plus 9. I said incorrectly last time, but it's 9 for your spiritual weapon.
Okay, give me a second. This will... plus 9... 27.
27 hits. So, as this stern, still gesticulating angrily, warforged spiritual weapon, glowing green, smashes into this creature. Roll for your damage.
8.
8. That's for... Sorry, I need to look at bonus action. That's 1d8 plus 2. So you rolled 8? Or you rolled 6?
I rolled an
8. So 10 points of damage as, yes, this glowing warforge crashes into the mind flayer. This is the one you were attacking. So that's
Is it dead?
10. No, it is not.
I attack it with... Wait, is anyone dying?
Looking around you, none of your companions seem to be that injured necessarily, but the newer warforged looks pretty. Not the newest one, but the other one. That looks. Lord Mender looks pretty hurt. What you gonna do, Akko?
How far away is he?
He's not too far. I mean, you could get to him on this turn. He's just next to the machine. You do know you're gonna have to stay near the machine so you can press the button.
Am I next to the machine?
You are next to the machine. There hasn't been a body that was placed in on this turn yet. Wait a minute. Yes, no, it hasn't because you come before Cindrine. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna heal or attack?
He's not dead yet. I
He's
can
not.
revive him if he's dead. So I use... I can.
Sure, yeah, you can.
So I attack the...
Okay, with your staff.
Yes.
Okay, so roll a d20 plus staff plus 7. Drum roll.
22.
Say that louder.
22.
22. That'll hit. So, roll 1d6.
5.
5. Roll again. See if you get a 6.
No.
No. Okay. So that's 7 points of damage, and that doesn't take him down. But you knock one of its tentacles free at this point, and the Mind Flayer is freaking out. This one in particular that you've been attacking is still stuck in its, like, it hasn't made its saving throw from the intelligence, so it's taking, like, it's in the psychic loop, and you're hitting it from the outside and hurting it.
So sad.
Well, it doesn't look sympathetic. Like, it looks evil and angry and alien to you.
I know Akko's not sad for it, but I am.
Okay. Okay, that finishes your turn, Akko?
Yes.
Okay, so the new Warforged that has been convinced to join the fight by Lady Tinker rushes over and will make a grapple check against the Mind Flayer that you've been taking on, Akko. It grabs that one, it makes it, and it also begins to levitate it up into the air towards the machine, following Lady Tinker's lead. So now you've got two to get them up into position where they can be taken and put into the Warforged body. So that finishes its turn. It now has that. So at this stage, Lady Tinker is more or less up above the machine. So she's holding this one struggling Mind Flayer in place. What? I can't hear you.
I press the button?
You're not close enough, and you don't have an action right now. So someone else will have to press the button. Let me move. Let me describe what I'm saying. Sindrine, in her giant ape form, is able to rush over and drop one of the Warforged bodies and place the other one into the netting. Right. This is the shell that this will go into. There's not really anyone to press the button, but she is the giant ape, just sort of like uses her pinky to kind of dink on it. It works just as well. So the machine comes up, and the Mind Flayer that Lady Tinker is holding just goes limp in her grasp, and sentience comes into the Warforged on the slab as well. That's all that Sindrine can do on this turn, however, because that was a couple of actions. So that finishes that, but that is one more Mind Flayer that is down. Let's say it's this one, and one new Warforged Mind Flayer soldier that is on the field. Okay, then next up is Merlina.
I walk ahead.
You move 30 feet ahead. Roll a d20. 4. You do not blink out. You've at least made it back to the entrance to the new
place,
chamber. Yeah. The door is blown off its hinges completely. There's that. So you'd carved the thing, but you'd filled it back up, but the creature had burst out anyway. So it's just this gaping hole in the side of the wall there, and you see the pressure tiles that are in the hallway in front of you as well. You're not sure if anything will happen necessarily,
I'm
but
like an insomniac. I just cannot let go of the control.
Merlina's gonna burst in after the fight. I'm like, hold on, guys, I'm about to save you.
I did it!
Okay, that finishes Merlina's next turn. Kundarashta is next. She does not make her save. Poor Kundarashta. She's seen some dark things in her time, and this is a tough loop for her.
Oh no.
Okay.
They're demented her.
The Mind Flayer that Akko's been attacking, that the new guy has floated upwards, is going to try and break free of the grapple.
But
It's
how?
what do you mean?
It's under the thing.
It was moving upwards towards... No, so Lady Tinker had one, and the other new Warforged that has levitation powers also brought one up.
But how is he getting moving if he was too concentrated on the...
Good point. Okay, so I'll re-roll that and see if he can break free of that stun, which he can't. So you're correct. He can't break free. That finishes his turn. We're done.
Good paying attention, Akko.
Good job, Akko.
You're welcome.
Okay, that finishes his turn. Next up is the other the new. I don't know. We really need names for these guys.
Okay, how about this?
Lord Mender. We'll call him Lord Mender. That's fine.
The one that's with me, right?
Yes, Lord Mender. That is sort of looking hurt. But
I was about to say that the latest one that's made, I have another one. It's Madame Fiddle.
Okay. Oh boy. What he's going to do on his turn is pull the Madame Fiddle out of the chair to make room for whatever the next one might be. And he's going to also make a sort of telepathic communication saying, "Welcome to the world, young one. This is quite crazy. Trust me, but we are your friends, and we would like you to fight alongside of us." Going to make a persuasion check, which natural 20. This one sort of looks up at him and says, "All right, that sounds fun."
They're also good spirited once you intimidate them.
Naive and childlike. Okay, so that finishes his turn. He used that entirely to do that instead of taking any further action. Next up is the... wait a minute. Mind Flare. Okay, there's that one. Okay, so this guy makes his saving throw at the end of his turn. So there is one Mind Flayer that was left sort of on ground level, who is now shaken off and is starting to get up and back into place. We move on to Lady Tinker, who, let's see if she recharges, does not recharge, takes the opportunity to sort of drop herself directly upon that particular Mind Flayer, doing some damage as a Warforged, just a direct strike upon it. And that's an 18 to hit, so let me do some random damage here. 10, 11, 12, 14 points of damage as she smashes into this Mind Flare even as it's getting up. Oops, I did that wrong. Can I undo? No, I can't do undo. I had her take damage instead of the other way around. Let's do minus 14. Give those back to her. Okay. This one, Mind Flare. Here we go. 14 points. Okay, so that finishes her turn. With that, we move to Kalen. Kalen is able to get another body just in case we need it. Though I think there's only there's two Warforged or two Mind Flayers left. Grabs that and starts to run back. Is in the midst. Valadrin basically uses his turn to grab from Kalen and run as well, because you can do that. So there are now two bodies. No, he's going to ignore Kalen. He's going to grab from Sindrine the other body and put that onto the slab. So there's another one in place now, ready for the button to be pressed, though there isn't one above it just yet.
Can Valadrin press the button?
He does. If he pressed the button, it wouldn't do anything. So that finishes his turn. Merlina, we're back to you. Roll for blink.
Okay. Oh, I blinked.
Okay. So you rush forward, trying not to step on any of these pressure tiles.
Yeah.
You get 30 feet in. No, you've gotten further because you can double dash as well at this stage. So you get partway down the tile, and you finally blink out into the ethereal plane. And you don't do anything on this turn, but you know when you come back, you can jump an extra 10 feet forward.
Good.
So, okay, that finishes that turn. That one's gone. Falafas, you're up next.
Again, I'll just try to use the staff.
Okay, in front of you now... Okay, so you can rush over to the one that Lady Tinker is attacking. There's basically just one Mind Flayer left that's not grappled and prepared for this. So there's two Mind Flayers left alive. One is already in the air, and the other one is being attacked by this newly made Warforged Lady Tinker.
Sure. Just the closest one.
There's only one that you could reasonably attack. I'll put it that way.
Then I misunderstood. Yeah, sure. Rolling then. So plus 4, so it's 15.
15. That... Oh, where's my thing? That does not hit. It just clangs off of its breastplate.
I'm getting used to the fighting with stuff.
That's fine. Okay, so then
You should roll for inspiration because the sound inspires you for your next turn.
yeah, there's a little clang, some dark overtones. Do you have any other bonus action you want to do, or
I can try to inspire someone, but I don't feel like we need it at the moment, and that's the last inspiration I have.
okay? it's up
Is,
to you.
is there anything you can do to move one of the remaining mind flayers over the platform?
Not now, not after using my action.
Okay.
Okay, so then that finishes your turn, or rather, it finishes Philophis's part. Now for Mr. Jefferson in T-Rex form, what would you like to do?
Attack, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so roll an attack against the Mind Flayer that's still on the ground.
That's 18 plus 10, 28.
28, so that hits. So even without it, basically this time Mr. Jefferson just bites the thing in half and destroys it completely.
Okay.
So
How many are left?
there is one left that is
In range. Is
being
it in range?
not exactly, because it's being floated above the machine.
Alright,
So
right.
Valadrin had gotten another body into place. With this move being done, Moish, it is your turn, but so you know, the only enemy that's left is being carried by the new soldier, and he will go after you and Akko. So essentially, you're confident enough to let this play out, I think, and this is where we'll sort of wrap up for the evening. As you're watching what's happening, Akko, you as well, sort of get yourself back into position to press the button, and as the what do we call him, Lord Mender?
The second one is
No,
Lord Mender.
second one's Lord Mender. Third one was
Sir Fixer.
Sir Fixer. Yeah.
okay. So as Sir Fixer, in his new Warforged body,
The fourth one is Madame Fiddle.
looking sort of muscular and overwhelmingly robotic as he floats this struggling Mind Flayer above the machine. Akko smashes down on the button for the machine, and the life force, the soul, is sucked out of this Mind Flayer into the fifth Warforged that is on the tablet, and the room goes relatively still. Into this silence, with the exception of Mr. Jefferson, who is still munching on the body that it's and sort of trying to consume this Mind Flayer. The fifth Warforged now sort of sits up and looks around at what's going on and says, "Oh, something seems wrong about this."
Oh no.
And
Mind Flayer?
yeah, no, the fifth Warforged.
He's an unpleasant one.
With that voice, it can only be Miss Fidget.
We'll see.
Or Mr. Temper Tantrum.
We'll see. That's what Moish says out loud. But with that in place, the moment calms down, we will sort of wrap up for the evening there because it's a little bit later than we usually go. Marlena, you do eventually manage, still blinking occasionally, to make your way back to the chamber in this overlook. So at a certain
Take credit, guys.
stage in this, Marlena comes rushing into the room. But yeah, we'll pick up there next time as you see the spoils of your battle. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you for everyone for playing. We have our own pocket army now.
Huzzah. Yeah, and I'll check the stream later to see what happened. I saw people jumping in and out. We had 2 viewers at some stage. There's one viewer now. I'm not convinced that's not like my
Us.
iPad or one of us, which it probably is. It's fine.
It's me.
It's you. Why do you anyway, my guess
I
is
don't even know where the link for the stream is.
that's fine. My guess is the sound is not great. But who knows? We'll find out.
There's no sound.
That could be that. No, I see the sound.
No, there is a sound. I joined in for a second and I did hear it, so it's fine. Though, there are those labels of our names, right?
Yeah.
they might be. We could use a smaller version of those, I suppose.
Oh, they're too big. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
That was my feeling. That was just a feeling.
Okay.
Send me a link to the stream. I do not know how to access.
All right.
Dungeon
We'll
Master.
see you all next time. That's all